I'm not going to learn how to, although that's usually, and here's the funny thing, with things like reality television and stuff like that nonsense, that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're learning whatever it is from slobs. So what could you expect as a result of that?
Wait by the water, don't take the pathway home. It's not much farther than you can better go tonight and end inside. So wait by the water, don't take the pathway home.
And there's no striving for excellence anymore. It's you know, if you hold, you know, I mean, I can only relate this to my personal. When I wanted to you know, when I found that cooking was a passion for me, I would watch the likes of Julia Child. I would watch the likes of Jacques Pepin. I would watch the likes of Lydia Bastianich, and learn and read their books. Now, why would I, and I'm being very politically correct.
My ass is tight, go ahead. I'm like, oh.
Why would I want to learn from someone who isn't, even had I not gone to culinary school, who's nowhere near as qualified or as experienced as I am?
Because we all want to eat quick, so we want people that show us quick shit. I mean,
yeah, I'm the girl who spends 4 hours in the kitchen making a sauce, but that's just me.
But I think people could spend an hour every day in the kitchen preparing a
And
healthy
what's the
meal.
big deal? I mean, what do you have to do in 1 hour that you can't make yourself? you know what I'm saying?
No, seriously, what are we doing? Because I know like a chicken in the oven takes about an hour.
That's it. That's it. A 3-4 pound
And you don't have
chicken.
to do anything
Not
to
as,
it.
Well,
Really?
you know, a little adobo. You know, you don't want to put that in there. You know.
No, but meaning you don't have to sit there and fry it or stir it.
Nothing.
Maybe you baste it.
You know, and I'm very, very fond of saying that. In the time that it takes me to get into the car, that it would take me to get into the car, go to the drive-thru, come back, take the stuff out of the bag, realize that I got ripped off for a sandwich. In that time, I could have made braised chicken, a salad, white rice, and a steamed vegetable. It's nutritious. It doesn't. I know exactly what went into that. You know what I'm saying? And it's healthy. Don't kid yourself. You're gonna end up having to work harder by eating that fast stuff, because you end up, it affects your health, it affects your weight, it affects your self-image. Because come on, if you don't look good, you don't feel good. I mean, that's a little shallow, but I mean, I'm saying personally, if I look in the mirror and I'm not happy with what I see, I'm like, God, it must be Monday. What a weekend. You know, something, I mean.
But I don't think that's shallow. I think we all want to look good. And I think it would be shallow to say you want to be a beautifully attractive person that people all think that you're beautiful, but I don't think it's shallow to want to look good. Every time something becomes unhealthy, we just make it normal, but it's not normal. Children having diabetes is an issue.
Yeah.
And we're having this larger conversation about healthcare in the country, but it's like, okay, before we even address how we're going to get people healthcare, let's address the thing so that most of us won't need that much healthcare.
Yeah, well, it's funny you should say that, because again, going back to what I said about people who really don't promote, who in their work do not promote healthy eating, yet they're held up by politicians, you know, to spout, you know, healthy lunches in the schools. Really? That's who you're holding up? Why? Because why? You know, I'm not really getting that. I love this program that Michelle Obama has instituted called Chef's Move, where she's actually getting chefs involved. You know, in the movement to have healthy school lunches, and she redesigned the whole food pyramid, and you know, education. Start with the kids while they're young. So the kids come home and say, I don't want, this is like orange, there's nothing this color in nature. What, you know, why are you feeding me this, you know? You know, tell the truth and shame the devil. You know, you have the kids say, yeah, I'm not feeling this. How come we never have salad, you know? how come we don't have fresh fruit in the house? How come we have these juice boxes that doesn't qualify as fruit?
Yeah.
That stuff is, you know, maybe 10. And here's the funny thing, you know, there's 10% real fruit juice.
I know, we get excited about that.
I know. It's
that's
like,
so fucked up.
oh my God.
When you're like 10%, yes, that's fucked up.
You know,
something went wrong.
You know,
we took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, no, there's some.
And the funny thing is that the way that we eat is we're insidiously spreading it around the world. You know, I love to tell the story that I went to like the Mexican diet, full of whole grains and it's fresh food. What we know here as Mexican food is not Mexican food at all. It's some bastardized crap, you know, Tex-Mex stuff, which, you know, is full of fat and layers of cheese and this and that and the whole 9 yards. I went on a family trip to Oaxaca, beautiful food-centric city, and our room was on the side of a mountain. And you know, I went to my room and I opened the doors out into the balcony, and what was the one thing that I can see from the balcony of my beautiful hotel room in Oaxaca, Mexico? Very iconic arches. I'm not going to say what color they were, but that was the only thing that I could discern from my beautiful hillside. And you know, and they're talking about how French women don't get fat. Well, guess what? People are, you know, all that stuff, that fast food stuff, people are starting to gain weight in France. Not China, that's a hot mess. And closer to home, and this is something that really pisses me off. When I was younger, I would visit family in Puerto Rico, and there was never a shortage of little fondas, little mom and pop places where you could duck in and get a bistec encebollado with rice and beans, or pollo guisado with rice and beans, or sopa de pollo, whatever, guineíto, ensalada de bacalao, real wholesome, real food. Guess what? You can't find those places anymore, because on every corner there's a fast food restaurant. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's selling, you know, Tex-Mex or burgers or pizza or whatever, it doesn't matter. Everything in PR is fast food. In Puerto Rico, they're a little behind, because here, at least in the United States now, I think chefs have taken up this banner about sustainability and the whole farm to fork thing, you know, promoting healthy ways to eat, being part of this movement. In Puerto Rico, where if you eat a mango and spit the pit, in 2 years you'll have a tree growing. I mean, that's how fertile and wonderful the Puerto Rico is. It's my understanding that in Puerto Rico, the gandules, the pigeon peas that we use to make like our traditional arroz con gandules, we're actually having them imported from the Dominican Republic, because Puerto Ricans apparently are too cool to harvest their own produce. I have a friend who has a couple of restaurants in San Juan. He says to me, and this to me, I started to twitch, smoke, you know, like all kinds of crazy things started to happen to me. He told me in Puerto Rico, all of the restaurants get their seafood from Boston. Yeah, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, in these waters, they're sending to Boston for fish.
What's the reason?
It's cheaper, because there's no more Indians anymore. There's only chiefs.
That's,
you know,
largely, and that's where I'm going with all this. What does the future look like, do you think, if we continue this way, especially as it relates to food, if everyone wants to be a chief?
I think with the awareness today, especially with chefs, real chefs, like, let me quantify that, real chefs as celebrities, guys like Dan Barber up in the Stone Farm, people like Jamie Oliver. I mean, you know what? It's embarrassing that Jamie Oliver had to come over here from the UK to shake a finger at the abysmal condition of school lunches, and it's all political. It's all political. All of that has nothing to do with anything else than politics. Who has what account? Who's paying what? Well, I'm going off on a tangent now. I was about to get into.
I think that's where we're going. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think with this new movement of chefs being recognized as quote unquote celebrities, a lot more chefs are taking that responsibility to heart and bringing awareness, to local farms, striking relationships. Having restaurants striking relationships with local farmers and local livestock producers and the such, and with more and more people now going to culinary school, younger and younger people are going into it with this in mind. So I think therein lies the hope.
But some things inside out